Dear students, welcome. Today we will go for one of the most beautiful poems of your second year fourth semester from the unit number 7, that is Ecology, written by A.K. Ramanujan. And today there is a lot of debate going around the world about ecology and the role of human being. So the days have changed, my dear students. Earlier people used to live with the nature. So whatever their activities are in tune with the nature. But today, what happens? We are cutting the trees indiscriminately, spoiling water, polluting everything, polluting water, polluting air, whatnot. Because of the industrial revolution, because in the name of progress, see, what do we do? What are we doing? We are spoiling the environment. Today, we talk about the ozone layer. We talk about the dangers that are coming, see, before us. We have already been experiencing what is happening to us because of the heavy seas, heavy summer. The mountain sea areas are slowly being melted, and the water sea level is rising. So we find so many earthquakes, tsunamis, whatnot. So now today it has become a question how long the man's existence will be on the earth, because for all these natural imbalance we are only the cause. So in the poem Ecology, he talks about, poet A.K. Ramanujan talks about the old way of looking at the nature and the modern way of looking at the nature. The old people lived in harmony with the nature, and they enjoyed, and they promoted, they did their level best in preserving the good environment and giving back to the next generations. But today what happens, in the name of industrialization, in the name of development, in the name of progress, slowly these beautiful things from the world, many of the species have already extinct. So what is our role? So here is a message, and the poem is personal in tone. So it describes about Ramanujan's experience with his own mother and all that, but it has a great message for all of us to learn how we should deal with the nature and all. Okay, so with this say little introduction, we will go to the poem. So the poem is Ecology, written by A.K. Ramanujan. So let us have some introduction about A.K. Ramanujan, because that is very, very important. See, he was born in the year 1929 and lived till 1993. So he was a poet, he was a translator, he was a folklorist, and he was a philologist. He was a philologist, he was a critic, and he was a cultural historian. That means A.K. Ramanujan is not only a poet, but also did lot of work in bringing the folklore, and also a translator, translated several from the various languages, and he is a philologist. Philology is nothing but the study of the language with historical resources. So it is about literary criticism, it is about history and linguistics. So from all this point of view, one can understand things very well. So as a philologist and also a very good critic, and he is a cultural historian. He promotes culture, so he wants to give the nature and also the aspect of the culture in his own folklore, folk tales and all that. And most of his poetry deal with all these things. So as a poet and translator, folklorist, philologist, critic, cultural historian, he has played many roles, not just as a poet. So he was born in Mysore, educated in Pune, then later went to USA at Bloomington University, and he was the professor at University of Chicago. If you look at his poems, they all his poetry deals with gentle irony. So irony, as we all knew, that is a poetic, in poetic usage or in artistic form. See, we just want to see expose the lacuna or the shortcomings of the human being, where we all see narrow in mind and all that. So they are the all our follies are expressed with little say gentle irony, so that people can understand, and a deep reflection of human relations. So as we all aware that human relations are being see coming down. So today everybody is busy with their own work, and not much see interaction is there between the humans. So the deep reflection of human relations he expressed in his works. And the tradition and culture, as we just now had a talk, so tradition and culture was given a lot of importance. And see, though he was in America, in Chicago, so most of his writings, see, the traditional and cultural aspects were there. And he was in the Department of South Asian Studies. So mostly his poems deal with these things. So when he was asked by the people, so whether you are an Indian or an American, he say hyphen in the phrase Indo-American is am. That means I'm like a bridge between India and America. So the both cultures am being adopted to it. So I'm like a bridge. He said a hyphen in the phrase Indo-American. And so he was a modernist also. He lot of importance was given for hybridity and transculturation. So as we all aware, when you are living in a foreign country, maybe see, he lived in America. He lived in America. When he was in America, he should be like an see one. He should see recognize and at the same time appreciate the culture of America. And America's culture, people will get easily see accommodated, because where people, lot many people are migrated to this country because for their own employment, for realizing their own dreams. So you have ample facilities and ample see opportunities to say realize your dream, and as well as say get progress. So hybridity is really needed, because at the same time you should see keep up your own culture and all that. So he was a modernist. He proposed the hybridity and the transculturalization he appreciated, and also he practiced. So that see, he said he was a bridge between Indo-American culture. That means both cultures can be seen in him. And he was awarded Padma Shri of the biggest award, the biggest civilian award, the highest civilian award, one of the highest civilian awards in the year 1976. And he was also awarded Sahitya Academy Award posthumously in the year 1999. So, as a poet, A.K. Ramanujan, she has these many uh, see credits at him. So when you go through the poem, see what are the major themes of the poem. See, the poem is taken from see is a collection of poems, the second site in the which was published in the year 1986. So the main themes of the poem are ecology. So what exactly is ecology and all, and coexistence. That means how humans and nature should coexist together, because we are the part of the nature. So our say activity should not be detrimental to the nature. So if your activity is detrimental, you are not see you can't coexist for a very long time. So narrator's love for mother, that means narrator has great love for mother, because mother often falls sick because of the migraine. The migraine is just because of the pollen from the trees and all that. So the narrator is very much worried about the mother's health, and see, hearing that his mother she got sick through pollen and all that, and he goes to his village and see offer his help. And memories of the past, most of the most of past memories are seen in the poem. As the poet's mother recollects how the flowers of that have come from champak tree have been given for the prayers and to the daughters, and also talks about her own past experiences and a self-sacrificing mother. So when she was asked that whether the tree should be cut to avoid the pollen from that, she was very much angry, and she was unhappy with the proposal made by his own son, that to cut the tree. But she is a great lover of nature, and so she ardently she admires the tree, has great association with the tree, and she thinks that it is a God's blessing. That's the reason why provincial boards the topics was they cast for the rise of the tree and all that. So these are all the important themes that are there in the poem, and of course Hindu mythological reference was also there, because offering flowers to gods is from Hindu mythology. And moreover, we imbibe from the nature that how to live with the nature in harmony with it. So these are the main themes that we can see in the poem Ecology. So let us go to the poem. The poem is written, has no rhyme scheme, has no specific meter and all that. So the poem is easy to understand. Most of the words are either nouns or what you call the pronouns, or else adjectives, and these are even articles, determiners, and prepositions are also used. So understanding it is not that difficult. So let us go to the poem. The day after the first rain, for years I would come home in a rage, for I could see from a mile away our three red champak trees had done it again, had burst into flowers and given mother her first blinding migraine of the season, with their street long, heavy hung yellow pollen fog of a fragrance no wind could sift, no door could shut out from our black pillared house, whose walls had ears and eyes. That means the day after the first rain, for years, I would come home in a rage. So it was the day after the first rain, as we all aware. After the first rain, the nature starts rejuvenating, and you can see grass everywhere. So within few days after the rains, we see that there is the entire nature turns into lush green color. That means a lot of plants will started coming up. Even the leaves are also to the trees will be coming up. So with all these things, we see a wonderful scenery around us. Because of the first rain, the day after the first rain, that means a few days after the first rain, maybe a day after the first rain, for years I would come home in a rage. So I would come home in a rage. The author, she comes home in great rage. That means in great anger. So naturally, when the things around you become so beautiful, why there should be a rage? Why there should be a what you call? Why there should be an anger? So, so what might be the purpose? So there might be some issue with it. So everybody appreciates the nature. So everybody longs to watch the beauty of the nature, especially this particular season, when the first after the first rains, the entire nature around us becomes so beautiful. So, but this man comes in a rage, in great angriness. He has come to the home. For I could see from a mile away our three red champak trees had done it again. So, for I could see from a mile away. From a mile away, I could see there are three red champak trees in the backyard, in the courtyard of the poet. So, from a mile away, they are visible because of the rains and all that. It started blooming. The entire tree is filled with see flowers. These red champak trees are filled with the see flowers, and the champak flowers are so see scented, so that from a very long distance also you can have the beautiful scent of the see what you call the champak tree, champak flowers. So the from a kilometer, from a mile away, those three red champak trees see appearing, and see, and had done it again. See, as usual, every year, what they do, they did what they did. So they did nothing but they flowered, they bloomed like anything, isn't it? The entire tree is filled with the flowers, and as usually did. And see, this act of doing, somehow the poet does not like it. That's why he said had done it again. So the same mistake it had done. So that was the idea of the poet. So the poet does not consider the blooming of the flowers as a good sign or as a wonderful thing. And he something troubles his mind. So that way he see the thing in a different way. So what he said, looking at the beautiful, see the red champak trees filled with the flowers and all that, is a naturally a beautiful sight. But what happens? The poet is unhappy, and he comes home with a great rage. And she felt that, oh, you did the same thing again. You made the same mistake again. I had done it again. He felt so. So he was unhappy with the blooming of the flowers there, the red champak trees. So from a mile away, he could able to see them. He could able to get the smell all through his journey to home. So that way, the poet came home in a rage, in unhappy mood, in angriness. So what might be the reason? So he just describes how these flowers are. Had burst into flower and given mother her first blinding migraine of the season. Had burst into flower. That means the entire tree has burst into flowers. So the flowers started blooming. The entire tree is covered with the flowers, and that has made his mother the first blinding migraine. Migraine is a kind of headache. So because of the heavy scent that comes through the champak flowers, and that brings the migraine, a kind of headache to the mother. So every season, once the flowers started blooming, because of the heavy scent of the flowers, mother used to get the migraine, and she suffers a lot through the migraine. See, as we all are aware that the pollen that comes from the flowers causes allergy. So the pollen allergy will be there for many people. So his mother also suffered from that pollen allergy, and because of that pollen, because of that allergy, she gets a migraine and suffers a lot during that particular season. Every year this happens. So that way he was in a rage. Here we can see the poet's love towards his mother. So he was very much worried about the health of the poet, health of the mother. So that way he comes to the home in a great anger, that the same thing happened this year also. These three red champak trees were filled with the flowers, and because of the heavy scent and pollen, her mother gets heavy the bad headache. So she doesn't like it. He doesn't see like it. So that's the reason why the poet was quite unhappy with that. Had burst into flower and given mother her first blinding migraine of the season, because during that season it happens quite normally. So the poet does not like this at all. So though the nature is so beautiful, he was unable to appreciate it. His aesthetic sense has lost, because there was say pain of see the very idea that his mother is being suffered from that pollen and from that migraine. So that way it somehow started uneasiness. It has given some uneasiness in the mind of the poet. So he feels angry, and feels he comes home in a rage. So, with their street long, heavy hung yellow pollen fog of a fragrance, no wind could sift. So, the red champak trees blossomed in such a way that the scent and the pollen that comes from the tree, from these flowers, have spread the entire street with their street long, heavy hung yellow pollen fog. So, the pollen that comes from the trees have see almost see looks like a fog. So it was very heavy that it was in the air, and it was in the air like the light see clouds. It is almost like a fog, isn't it? So with their street long, heavy hung yellow pollen fog, so the streets are filled with yellow pollen, and they feel like a fog in the entire area. So with their street long, heavy hung yellow pollen fog of a fragrance, now no wind could save. So no wind can see clear that. So when a heavy wind comes, what will happen? Everything will be swept away. But this time, during this particular season, the entire sea area is the entire streets are filled with the heavy fog. What kind of fog it is? It is the fog of the yellow pollen that has come from the red champak flowers, and they were heavy. They are hanging in the air heavily, so in huge quantities, we can see the yellow pollen and the entire street is filled with the yellow pollen that has come from the red champak trees, and the fragrance of it, it seems that no wind can see move away. That shift is a word that means move away, or it can clear away, or it cannot filter from the coarse particles. So with their street-long, heavy-hung yellow pollen, fog of a fragrance, no wind could sift, no door could uh, shut out from our black-pillared house, whose walls had ears and eyes. So he had see yellow-pillared, see black-pillared house. So the black-pillared house see amongst see midst of these these trees. So the black pillared house was fully covered, see, with the pollen. So no door could. The since it is an old see house, it's a village type of house. The doors are made of the wood. See, there was not much painting. The painting has gone off, so no door could shut out. So the doors are supposed to prevent see anything that has to come from outside into the inside. So the doors are not so good that it cannot prevent that. So no door could shut out our black pillared house, whose walls had ears and eyes. Even the walls could able to hear the sounds and also can see the nature. So whatever comes from near around could able to hear them. The walls and ears could able to hear and could able to see stop there from entering into the house. But they are not doing so, and the scales, that means because of the withering of the color from the doors and all, so they are coming out like the see scales. And the smells, bone creaks, because the doors have become old, so we found when they are moving, we find the sound of creaking, so bone creaking sound we can see. And nightly visiting voices because of the several because of the wind, because of the boats in the night, because of several other things, we can see the visiting voices. That means not regular, but now and then they come. So nightly visiting voices, and were porous like us. That means they were unable to stop the even the walls, and the doors were unable, windows were unable to stop the pollen from outside. They are actually say supposed to give a protection from all of them, but in fact what is happening here, they are unable to stop the what you call the sounds, the pollen from outside. Though she is living inside, the pollen that is coming from the champak flowers are see really the pollen is really entering into the house, and these what you call the doors are seeming like the porous. That means something passes through it. As we have on our skin we have pores. That means the things will and just enter into our body through the porous, isn't it? So likewise, as if they have become say they are supposed to stop, but they function as porous. So the pollen that is coming from the trees are entering into the house. That means even in the see night time, even in the daytime or night time, though the doors and windows are shut, the pollen is entering into the house, as if the doors have become say exhibiting the property of their porous. So that way, see, it has been causing lot of trouble to the mother. So the poet is worried about this because he cannot stop the pollen. So in spite of see having all these measures, having see shut the doors and windows of the house, but they were unable to see perform their duties. So like porous, the pollen entering into the house and causing allergy to his mother. So mother she gets affected with it, and because of the pollen she often gets migraine, and a terrible migraine she is getting, and she often suffers. So this does not this has made the poet very angry. But mother, flashing her temper like her mother's twisted silver grandchildren's knickers, wet as the cold pack on her head, would not let us cut down a flowering tree. So the poet made a proposal before his mother that why don't we cut the trees? He said we will cut the trees. Then the poet's mother was very much unhappy with the proposal of the poet. Because why the poet wants to cut the tree here means because of the heavy pollen mother is suffering a lot. So to avoid, he found only the solution is to cut the trees. So he was just looking for the, since he loves his mother very much, he just looks about the safety of his mother, or say see the happiness of his mother. So for see bringing happiness, the only solution he found that say cutting the trees. But when see hearing this proposal, mother was quite upset and quite unhappy because she is already suffering from migraine that is twisting her. But see, to add fuel to the fire, what happens? The proposal made by the poet, she really upsets her, and she was much more unhappy than earlier. So, but mother, so what mother did? Mother flashing her temper. That means there was a lot of say fluctuation has come in the mood and moment of the mother. Already she was suffering from this migraine, but it has added more pain to her. So like the flashing of her temper can be seen here, like her mother's twisted silver grandchildren's knickers wet as the cold pack on the head. So she was moving like a twisted silver. So all the grandchildren's knickers were being hanged see to the wire. So that wire, the silver wire, being shown here as a twisted silver. So that way, she could so her condition is like the flashing of that silver wire outside, which was being hung by the grandchildren knickers and all that. So her condition is such, and wet as a cold pack on her head would not let us cut down a flowering tree. So what happened? Wet as the cold pack on her head. So she had a cold pack on her head to see get away from that migraine, or see to lower her temperature, or to have some relief from the migraine she is suffering. So that way, wet as a cold pack on her head would not let us cut down a flowering tree. So what is that? She is not allowing his her son to cut the trees, and she on some reasons she has given some reasons. She was extremely unhappy with the proposal. So what she said is not would not let us cut down a flowering tree. So she said, we don't cut the flowering tree. So flowering tree is life. She is considered as something in good in what you call a full life. So cutting a flowering tree is like killing a human being. So here the tree is very dear to the mother, and often she compares herself with the tree. So that way, the tree is given a human shape, is personified here. So that way, a flowering tree cannot be cut. Almost as old as her. She said the tree is as old as her. That means uh, if you feel that when something becomes old, you just can't cut, isn't it? You can't see move away your mother from the house, isn't it? Lot of love and affection the poet is showing towards her, towards his mother. So, like mother says, I am as old as the tree. She started comparing herself with the tree. So I am as old as a tree. So how can you cut? And seeded, she said, by a passing bird's providential droppings. And more, see, auspicious thing is what, because of some birds of providential dropping. See, as we all knew that how the seeds are scattered everywhere because these birds carry with them some seeds, whatever fruits that they eat, see, or their excretions will be dropped here and there. And that too, fortunately, these beautiful, see, champak trees seeds are fallen in their own, house area. That means in their own courtyard. So that way, mother feels it as a good omen. So that's a good sign. So she was bestowed with the god. So as we all aware, the Hindu mythology, we offer flowers to the gods, isn't it? And the champak flowers are more, see, what you call sacred to offer to the god. They have a beautiful scent and color and all that. So even in our mythologies, we can see that people see the great, what angels and all the great people started offering in their puja to the god. So in the feet of God, we normally see offer. So that way, the champak flowers are seems to be very holy and sacred. So having a champak tree in the house itself is a kind of say, blessing. And she was further blessed because she has not planted the tree, but because of God's will, that champak trees seeds were sown in her backyard by a passer's bird. So that means she considered it as a say blessing. So she doesn't want to cut the tree. So what she said is one is a flowering tree is very having good life, and also a flowering tree should not be cut. That is in our custom, in our traditions. We follow that, isn't it? So mother says the flowering tree should not be cut, and moreover the flowering tree has come into the house because of God's grace. So God has bestowed her because of the God's grace. A passing bird has dropped that seed in the house and then in the premises. So it has come. So she thinks it as a boon. She thinks it as a say a blessing from the god. So how can she be get away from that? So she was so much. The mother is so much associated with the flowering of the these champak trees and its flowers and all that. So she started comparing herself, identifying herself with the champak tree. So mother is so much of attached to the tree, and whereas his son asked him to cut the tree, and this made her somewhat uneasy, and her migraine is doubled now because already suffering from migraine. But the very thought of cutting the tree, the proposal of cutting the tree, has really made her much more unhappy, and she felt see much more uneasiness at the heart and at the body. So what she said is to give her gods and her daughters basket full of annual flowers. So what was happening here? She used to give these many flowers, the bunches of flowers or the baskets of flowers to the neighbors because they go and offer to the god. So that way she is being blessed that she can able to offer a beautiful champak flowers which are the holy flowers to the gods. So that way she used to give the basket full of sea flowers during this particular season to the neighbors and also to the daughters and their daughters. That means daughters basket full of annual flowers every annual season. That means every this particular season, and these champak trees used to bloom, and she used to see give in a big number in the basket full of flowers to the neighbors for the worship of the god. So that way, or for the marriages also, daughters marriages also she used to give. So for all see holy things and are all fine moments, she used to offer the basket full of flowers. So that was a great source of she was having. So she was very much connected with the nature. So cutting a tree she made her somewhat more she it has made her own migraine more vulnerable. So she can be compared here as a twisted silver. So to give her gods and her daughters basket full of annual flower, and for one line of cousins, a door of migraines in season. That means it has become a hereditary. She is happy with she though she the migraine she is killing like her like anything, but still she was she happy with the tree because every year she gets the flowers, beautiful scent of the flowers. She can able to offer flowers. She has established a wide good connection with the tree. So that way she was very much attached to it. And in see with this attachment she was even she even bear that migraine, that see heavy pain of migraine also. She wanted to suffer from that. That means she can endure that. And even she was she unable to bear that pain or that migraine, but still somehow she doesn't like to cut the tree at all. So that way here mother's association with the nature can be seen, and the son's love towards mother is also seen. So there is a clash. Somebody wants to give relief for the mother, that son wants to give relief to the mother by cutting the trees. Mother, though she suffers from the migraine, doesn't want to cut a tree at all. So here both attitudes towards the nature can be seen here. Son's nature is to give happiness, can use the nature to his own advantages, but whereas mother says no, no, she wants to live in harmony with the nature. So we can have both views here in the poem ecology. So that's how he ended the poem. So if you look at the images in it, so the champak trees, the red champak trees are a representation for the rage of the poet. The poet, when you are in rage, when you are in angry, what happens? Naturally, we become so hot, and we all our eyes will grew red, isn't it? So that way, the champak trees are the representation of the red eyes of the poet. That means the angriness, the rage of the poet. So that way the image is so apt here. And the migraine all the time becomes see the migraine causes because of the allergy. Okay, so this man is allergic to the poet is allergic towards the champak trees because he doesn't like them. He doesn't like them because they are causing say allergy to her mother, and mother suffer from migraine. And the porous, just now we had a said see talk on porous, how it is. So that means whatever is outside from the nature, it is coming inside. Even the doors are unable to say control the odor, and also the pollen from outside entering into the house. Okay, the walls have ears and eyes. See here, if you look at the house almost seems like a human being, isn't it? As if it is having ears and eyes. So everything they are living in harmony. So wall here, the house is represented as a see human being, that is personification. And daughters, when you remember daughters means a legacy. That means a family, see one after the other, the next generations are coming. So in the next generations, one of the cousins will be get affected. That means see by birth we inherit certain things. Through genetical code we inherit certain things from our own parents. So probably see their own cousin. That means in the daughters and the grandchildren also, some may inherit this kind of migraine, but even then, the mother is happy to have the champak tree in her house. So when you look at the style of the poem, you see runs in as a single sentence. When you look at the sentence, so it runs see for 2 to 3 lines. So but the same single sentence will be there. It is very short, very simple, enigmatic, and cryptic words are used to express the emotions in the poem. So A.K. Ramanujan is particularly is very popular for these things. This is his style. That means using short, simple, enigmatic, and cryptic words to bring the emotions in the poem. The many personal pronouns also we can see in the poem, like my mother, I would like, and see that way the personal pronouns are used. That way it made more say subjective, and the conjunctions are used, prepositions are used. Most of the cases the nouns and adjectives are used. If you look at the entire poem, either we can say a noun or an adjective, or a conjunctive, conjunctions or the prepositions or the personal pronouns. So by making use of all of them, he makes the poem so appealing, and the emotions are see, bring emotions are evoked. So if you look at the similes, the flowering tree is a simile to the old mother. So old mother compares herself with the champak tree. She said she's eyes old eyes, that the old tree is eyes old as she. That means she compares her age to the age of the tree. That means old are all the time must be respected, so that respect can be is expected from his own her own son. What is the metaphor used? If you look at the flowering tree, is flowering of the tree is a metaphor here, isn't it? And it's a lot of symbolism. We can see good images are there, and the house is personified here. House is compared as a human being, as if it is having ears and eyes and all that. That way we can see the personification. And in conclusion, old and there is a clash between the old and new generations. So old generation having more emotions, beliefs, and memories. They are more connected with the nature and the preservation of the nature and living harmony with the nature, we can see in the old generation. But in the new generation, they take nature as a commodity, and if it is, and they use as per their own convenience. So here poet wants to cut down the tree because it is causing inconvenience. So that way new generation is looking at the nature as a commodity, not as something to live with it. But the older generation all the time has a very good connection with the nature, and in great harmony they used to live. So if you look at the cultural aspect also, we can see like the offering these champak flowers to the gods, and also in the in the marriages. So this using in the marriages. So in all auspicious occasions, see we use the champak tree. So here it talks about the culture, the man and nature. Again, man and nature is very important. This is the message that we need to take from the poem, that man and nature should live in harmony. That means man is not that something superior to the nature. Man is a part of nature. So if you if man thinks that he is superior in the nature, and causes imbalance in the nature. What will happen? We all aware that nature will take its own course. So in the process of changing, what will happen? The nature will always have a dominance over the man. So here man and nature should go together. So try to find out the harmony with our own living creatures around the nature and in the nature. So that way, the true ecology that we can see around all around us. So this is all about the poem. So thank you very much.